Hello! Welcome to the birthday episode of Nightly Scroll. Look how special all of this is. They surprised me with, well, this is the map. Everyone knows that for my birthday, I wanted representation from all 50 states in the chat. And we are already keeping track of everyone who checked in before the show started. And here's where we stand as of right now. We still need Oregon. We need Alabama. I'm shocked that we don't have Alabama. We need Virginia. I'm shocked that we don't have Virginia. We need Maryland. We need Delaware. We need Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, Oklahoma, North Dakota, New Mexico, Wyoming, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico. We're going to count those. So we need everybody to represent. Oh, someone said Wyoming, so I can cross that off the list. And Massachusetts. Okay, so I can, and Delaware. Okay, perfect. Wow. We just need, we need New Hampshire. We need Maine. We need Maryland. Yay. Look at this. Alabama. Woo. Yay. Let me see. Illinois we have. Jersey we have. Someone said all the blue states, but North Dakota's not blue. We need North Dakota. Oh, someone said New Mexico. New Mexico. This is very exciting. Okay, well, let me get the show started, and I'll let you guys handle this so that I don't have to keep track of all this. But I'm very excited. I'm so happy that so many people. Oh, we got Maine. Okay, this is amazing. This is amazing. All right. Thank you all. And all the birthday wishes, you all have been so, so kind and nice, and I feel very, very loved. So thank you for joining the show tonight. My birthday is already incredible. So I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you for tuning in. If you want to jump in the chat, you have to do that on Rumble. Rumble.com/Haley is the only place you can watch this show. Of course, you can listen on your favorite podcast platform as well. Follow me on social media at Haley Carania for all the content in between. But I have got a big show on deck tonight. Democrats are pretending to care about Epstein all of a sudden. And yes, it is fueled by their TDS. Tom Homan rips another reporter to shreds. We played a video yesterday. He's doing it again today. We'll absolutely love it. Plus, detainees at Alligator Alcatraz say it's not too shabby, according to a Republican congresswoman. We're going to play the tape of that. Plus, men beware of women on dating apps. They may be reporters testing you. We're going to get into that as well. A Christian coffee shop is being targeted by communists, all because they're helping the homeless and poor people. Make it make sense. And I've got all of the cute animal videos in an extra long scrolling time. I'm taking a break from the politics. I'm taking a break from the crying liberals. We're doing all furry friends in scrolling time today. So without further ado, put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. Okay, so Epstein is in the news today. And for everyone or anyone who missed my disclaimer yesterday, I am going to cover Epstein. However, I won't be discussing what is going on specifically with Dan until you hear from Dan first. It's not my place to get out in front of him. So I am holding on the Bongino front until I can discuss. And when I can, you know I will. However, there are more developments on Epstein that I can touch on. First is a tease from Laura Trump claiming that there is more to come. She was talking to Benny Johnson on his podcast, and they were talking about how Epstein was basically the talk of the town at the Student Action Summit, the Turning Point conference over the weekend. Take a listen to this.
What would be your advice, given this back and forth, we're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. This was the topic of conversation. What would be your advice in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration?
Well, I do think that there needs to be more transparency on this. And I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, that everything we're talking about. I know that this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on. He's focused on a lot of other important things. We've got this big announcement with Russia going on, I think, as we're speaking right now at the White House. We have, a Middle East, we're trying to get peace over there. We're trying to make sure that Iran's nuclear arsenal is obviously completely decimated. We want to make sure everything is on the right track for this country. Fortunately, you've seen no border crossings in the last month. Zero, by the way. I think that's incredible. No one's talking about that enough. Zero illegal border crossings in the month of June. Amazing how that's all gone. So I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well.
So he wants to set things straight. She's teasing that there's probably more to come. Does that mean releasing files? Does that mean there's more to be released that hasn't been released yet? Or does she just mean that there's more transparency to come? She says that he wants to set things right. I hope that's true. Laura also made the point that there are more pressing issues right now, peace in the Middle East, talks with Russia, etc. Nobody is arguing that there aren't more important things happening. Everyone understands the president's focus can't be 100% on Epstein. No one's requiring that of President Trump. I've said before, nobody is a one-issue Epstein voter, but there were one-issue transparency voters and one-issue drain the swamp voters, and those people are rightfully upset. A lack of transparency is what fuels theories, and maybe the silence from the government on this issue for years and the recent mishandling of the files has turned this into a much bigger mess that's going to be very difficult to clean up. President Trump was asked about this earlier today by a reporter. Watch what he had to say.
On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
What? On the
DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein.
Okay.
On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
On Texas, how many more seats do you want the Republicans to?
Of course, I understand he wants to defend his attorney general, but his attorney general botched this beyond belief. He asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to release what's credible. What does that mean? Are there files that aren't credible? Did they release everything or not? Are there files that are not credible? Is he insinuating that anything not credible was fabricated by Comey? Remember, Epstein was arrested before Obama. He was blaming Obama, but this happened in the 90s. So the more the administration talks about this, the more questions people have. And a lot of people's minds are made up, by the way. The American people, we haven't seen the evidence, by the way, but we'll never trust the government or any evidence that the government ever comes out with. I can't blame those people. But now Democrats are jumping on the same bandwagon, pretending that they cared about Epstein and the client list and the victims all along. Well, that's news to me. The Biden DOJ could have made this a priority. They did not. Democrats could have maneuvered to force the release of evidence or details relating to Epstein. They did not. But Congressman Ro Khanna, Democrat from California, he filed an amendment to the Genius Act, which is a cryptocurrency bill that they voted on today. And the amendment basically would require Attorney General Pam Bondi to preserve any records relating to Epstein. She would also have to release and publish those records on a publicly available website within 30 days of that Genius Act passing and being signed into law. And then Congressman Mark Veazey from Texas, also a Democrat, said that he plans to introduce a resolution demanding that the Trump administration release the Epstein files. Now, I'm all for this. I'm all for this being released. Obviously, everyone wants the more transparency, the better. I just don't know if anything more exists that the DOJ can release without court-sealed documents being released by certain judges. I think Pam Bondi talked a big game and can't deliver. But that isn't stopping Democrats from using this to dunk on Trump and Republicans, which is, again, very curious. But here's Eric Swalwell posting this on X. This was earlier today. Breaking, this is it. Today at 1:30 p.m., Congress votes whether to release the Epstein files or keep them secret. How will Republicans vote? Not only this next one is something. And if you have sensitive ears, I just say maybe plug your ears. But this is Georgia Congressman Hank Johnson singing about the Epstein files. Let's play this.
Hank Johnson coming to give you some more ear candy or perhaps ear
candy.
But I'm going to do my best off of this Jason Isbell tune, Dreamsicle. Epstein died by suicide. Believe that and you must be blind. You've been telling us you released the file, but where are they? We've gone along with what's been told. We've had plenty of time, you're in control. But now you say you will withhold the Epstein file. Dreamsicle on a summer night in a folding armchair. Trump's howling at the moon. Release the Epstein files soon.
Okay, well, that's Hank Johnson for you. If you voted for him in Georgia, I am judging you just a little bit. This is the first time I'm hearing of Hank Johnson, by the way, but people have let me know that he was widely ridiculed in 2010 for saying that he thought that Guam would capsize because of population, which is expert level retardation. So the fact that people keep voting him into office is, it's something. And I will say that vote today, the Genius Act, Republicans did not vote for that to go through. So that will not be happening. But even Kevin Spacey and Alan Dershowitz, these are two men who have been named as Epstein associates. Their name have been thrown around in files that have been released, etc. They are demanding the release of the files because they say it will vindicate them. So actor Kevin Spacey took to X earlier today and he posted this. Release the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us who have nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. And Alan Dershowitz, he's a famed lawyer, right? He was on Sean Spicer's podcast a few months ago, suggesting that this isn't a Trump administration problem. The Epstein files are not being released due to judges and court seals. But he, too, demanded that the information be unsealed because he says that it'll exonerate him. So the saga continues. Lots of unknowns, but I will say this. It is absolutely rich to see Democrats start caring about Epstein yesterday. For the longest time, Epstein didn't kill himself was an internet meme and a right-wing conspiracy theory. And now that Democrats think that President Trump may be implicated, or they think that there may be a reason that Trump wants people to move away from this, now they care. Now they're demanding the release of the files. But literally any time that Republicans sound the alarm on anything relating to the safety of children, Democrats call it a conspiracy theory. When Republicans warn about unaccompanied children being trafficked across the southern border by Mexican drug cartels, Democrats turn a blind eye every single time because they've convinced themselves that it's racist to want a closed border. They are clowns. It's a total clown show. And do you remember the Sound of Freedom movie? It came out maybe last summer or 2 summers ago. And it was about child trafficking based on a true story. Democrats called it a conservative conspiracy theory when in reality, there are more than 3 million children being trafficked for labor and sex across the globe. That's not a conspiracy theory. Human trafficking is very much real. Democrats also call Republicans homophobic and transphobic when we warn about life-altering and irreversible sex change surgeries and hormone therapies, gender-affirming care that will render children depressed, lonely, in pain, potentially sterile, and big pharma experiments for the rest of their lives. This is the same party that wants tampons in boys' restrooms, and they want to teach your kids about sex and sexuality without parental knowledge. They want mentally ill boys to change in locker rooms and bathrooms with your daughters. These are policies that put little girls in danger and women in danger. Pride Month is over, but do not forget that Democrats want to normalize drag queen story times where men with prosthetic boobs and makeup read books to your kids. They want you to think that that is normal. Democrats encourage kids to be at pride parades, parades that are all about celebrating sexuality. In what world is that appropriate for children? Democrats empower women to be sex workers. They empower young women to get abortions so they can be as sexually promiscuous as they want without giving up their girl boss career goals. So when a Democrat all of a sudden starts caring about the sexual exploitation of girls, that should send alarm bells off in your head because it's phony and they're lying. They started to pretend to care about this 5 seconds ago because Trump told everyone to move on. I've seen reports on X, by the way, that conservative influencers have been told to slow their roll on Epstein. I don't know who those influencers are, but here's a video of Dinesh D'Souza telling you to move on from Epstein. Watch this.
I'm going to talk about the Epstein files, and I'm going to make the case that even though there are unanswered questions about Epstein, it is in fact time to move on. Part of being on a political team is maintaining a certain amount of maturity, recognizing you can't win them all, recognizing there are some things that are important to you that are less important to the guy that you've put in charge who is trying to focus on things right in front of him. And so having a sense of perspective, having a sense of balance, having a sense of maturity, I think is more important even than getting to the bottom of what really happened with Jeffrey Epstein.
What could be more important than protecting innocent children? What could be more important than releasing this information to the American public when the American public is demanding it? And for the record, I am not prominent enough to get a call from anyone in the White House, but even if I did, I would not care. You all know where I stand on this. I love President Trump. I voted for President Trump 3 times, and I'd do it again if I could. But I will not stand down on Epstein, and I will not buy into the narrative that we should just stop caring about it. This isn't going away, and telling people to move on is going to make it worse. I've been caring about it. I know a lot of you in the chat have been caring about it. Conservatives as a whole have been caring about it. The Trump administration campaigned on it, by the way. And Trump deranged Democrats are just hoping that, they can use this to get Trump, and they're hopping on the bandwagon in the most embarrassing way ever. And I do want to talk about Democrats being embarrassing, but first I want to do a quick update on where we are in the map. So where are we right now? Okay, so we got Oregon. We got North Dakota. We have North Dakota.
Yep, it's all cooking.
We got Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay, so we just need...
We need a Rhode Island out there, a Rhode Islander.
Rhode Island, New Hampshire.
And
then my territories.
And then...
D.C. and Puerto Rico.
And no, I think we have a Greenland. We can fire off Greenland out there. So props to Greenland. Puerto Rico.
Nightly scroll worldwide.
Yeah. Justin could probably draw an arrow off the coast of Rhode Island up there.
Canada, the 51st state.
Yeah, we got
people
Canada.
watching from Canada.
Somebody's watching from Mexico.
Someone said Utah. I used to be living in New Hampshire. Does that count? No, it does not count. But I know if you used to live in New Hampshire, you know people who live there now. So send the link.
So we need somebody to yell at a Rhode Islander and tune them in to the show. I think would be good.
Someone's watching from Brazil. This is incredible. Japan. This is incredible.
Someone said somebody check in from Japan.
Puerto Rico's not, but we're doing territories as well. We're just being greedy. Someone said New Hampshire is here. This is the second time I said it. Okay, sorry, we missed it. It's hard to see in the chat. It goes so fast. So New Hampshire, now we're just waiting for Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, and then did you hear me say that we had somebody check in from Japan?
Yes, I saw that. So I wasn't expecting a Japan check-in, but
we're making it across the oceans, and we do have somebody from the UK as well here. So
someone said Scotland. Welcome all.
We went across the oceans.
Wow, this is so incredible! Nightly scroll worldwide. I absolutely love to see it. Someone said Alabama. We've got that. We just need We need one person from Rhode Island. If you know anyone who lives in Rhode Island, you be texting them right now the link. You text them the link and just say, someone said, good luck with Rhode Island, the most liberal state in the U.S. My wife works in Rhode Island. Does that count? Only if she's watching the show. So send her the link. All right, we'll see if we can do it. We've got 40 minutes left. We've got to get this done, and I think we can do it. And then, if anyone from Washington, D.C. is in the chat, let me know. But that could be very cool if we could get all of that. That'd be very, very exciting. All right. Speaking of Democrats being embarrassing, Mark Cuban was talking with one of the hosts of Pod Save America about Kamala Harris and why she never went on those bro podcasts. Watch this.
The last 2024 question is, one of your main jobs on the Harris campaign was, they said you went on all the quote unquote bro podcasts, right? You were on Theo Vaughn. You were on Flagrant. You went on All In with all the tech guys and all of that. And I heard you tell Tim Miller of The Bulwark that you told the Harris campaign they should go do those things. Why did that not happen? Like, what was the response when you said that?
They were afraid. They were afraid, right? They didn't trust her.
That she would make a mistake?
Yeah. And because they had her so wound tight. Like, if the cursing Kamala would have gone on the broadcast, she would have killed it.
Cursing Kamala?
Which she did do with Sterling Sharp, right? When she went on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah, and you could see some of her personality come out.
Yeah, she was more relaxed there. Yeah.
Right. You could see some of her personality. But even like Alex Cooper, that was so, just preset, right? That was so overly organized that it made it tough. But like Flagrant, Andrew Schultz is a Democrat, votes Democrat mostly. He's
not this time, but yeah.
Yeah, not this time, right? But he was trying. He was really trying. But he's had Bernie on, he's had Pete on, he's had all these Democrats on, and he understands, his impact that he could have. Theo Vaughn, he doesn't give a shit. He'll have anybody on, right? He just wants to have fun. And I remember asking him, like, why do you vote for Trump? Why are you supporting Trump? Why are people voting for him? And I gave him all these characters, Destiny, da-da-da. He's like, dude, he's gangster. He's gangster. I like that boy. That boy's gangster, right? He don't give a shit. It's not hard to go on there and just have a real honest conversation where you can, have some fun with it. And they just did not want Kamala to do that.
Very interesting that he says that cursing Kamala, he said, if cursing Kamala went on these podcasts, people would think that she was cool and relaxed or something. What? It's just so bizarre, the mental gymnastics that liberals are doing in their head. And it's quite embarrassing. Could you imagine Kamala Harris on Theo Vaughn? It's a square peg in a round hole. I can see Trump going on these podcasts because Trump is a bro. So he's meant to be on bro podcasts. And Kamala Harris, quite frankly, is meant to call her daddy with all the promiscuous women and talking about abortion. Like, that makes sense. But could you imagine the conversation between Theo Vaughn and Kamala Harris? Not one full sentence, not one coherent sentence would be made.
Hearing her laugh would be the most annoying part. Yeah, we got it.
Woo! And I saw someone said Washington, D.C. as well. So I guess we're just missing Puerto Rico technically, but that doesn't really count. So, woo! All 50 states, 24 minutes in, and we did it. This is someone said the only conservative in Rhode Island checked in. There's probably more than one of you, but I'm very excited. We hit our goal. Woo! Look at all the X's on the map. We did it. This is very, very exciting. Good stuff. I feel very good about this. We're less than halfway through the show, and we already did it. We hit the goal. I got my birthday gift. It's all I wanted. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. Wow, thank you all. That was very exciting. I want to get into Tom Homan. I played a video of him yesterday just taking down a heckler, and now today I want to play a video of him ripping into a political reporter who was pressing him on ICE agents wearing masks. This is the left's new obsession. They think that it's horrible that ICE agents are wearing masks, and Tom Homan put this political reporter in her place. Watch.
I think one of the things that's had a lot of folks up in arms is that ICE agents, unlike other law enforcement, have been masked to protect their identities. That's not something that we've really had on this scale in this country. Do you?
Well, we never had the scale of attacks on ICE. We have now up 700% attacks on ICE. Doxing against ICE agents.
Well, you've had increased attacks on police officers as well in the wake of the defund the police movement too, but they haven't put masks on.
You name a police agency that has a 700% increase in assaults. Name one.
I haven't looked at that data. Yeah.
You won't find one. The attacks on ICE is unprecedented, 700% increase, and we're not even talking about the doxing of agents, their spouses, and their children. So they're wearing masks to help give them some sort of protection. But the same people that are complaining about ICE wearing masks, have they ever said anything about BLM protesters wearing masks?
Well, I mean, that leads me to the question that, like, do you have concerns that
Let me answer, though. Let me answer.
Yeah, okay.
Have they ever say anything about the mass protesters that became criminals on college campuses that threatened Jewish students and took over buildings, destroyed property? They were all wearing masks. Did anybody pass legislation saying they can't wear a mask during a protest? No. We're talking about law enforcement.
Oh, I think there are a lot of people who are upset about that. But then,
have you seen any legislation proposed to remove masks from protesters that become criminals, that take over college campuses? You haven't.
Great points from Tom Homan all around. This is a good rule of thumb, is to not come for Tom Homan, because he'll come for you and he'll finish you. We're going to get an ego screech for that, because, yeah, I mean, to argue that ICE agents shouldn't be protected when there is a 700% increase in attacks on them is insane. And to Tom's point, it's not just the threats that they have in the street doing their job. These threats follow them home. Their families are being threatened. Their children are being threatened. So, of course, they're doing a very important job. They have to feel protected in doing that job. And if masks are the way that they can be protected and their identities can be sealed so that they aren't doxxed, then so be it. And I don't understand why this reporter just could not figure out, and I understand that it's a left-wing talking point, so I guess she brought it up for that reason, but I mean, use your head, seriously. Then another woke reporter, we talked about Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Disneyland with his family over the weekend. Everyone was making fun of him. Gavin Newsom was poking fun at him, and Harry Sisson was poking fun at him, and now a Mother Jones editor-in-chief, Clara Jeffrey, she took to Blue Sky, which is the liberal X alternative, and she said this: people who feel bad for J.D. Vance's kids as his family gets booed at Disneyland, I get it, but better those kids know now what their father is about. Other kids are watching their parents get shipped off to gulags. She went on to claim that she wants Vance's children to be heckled for political optics. She said that J.D. Vance could use this for his advantage, or to his advantage. She said J.D. Vance knows he's going to be booed at Disneyland or the Kennedy Center or wherever. He doesn't have to go with his kids, but he probably wants the optics of his family being booed. What a loser. First of all, it's another good rule of thumb is to leave kids out of it. If you hate J.D. Vance and you hate his politics and you hate the Trump administration, fine. But to attack J.D. Vance's kids and saying that his kids should know what his father is all about and they should know all these things because other kids' parents, who are criminals, by the way, are effing around and finding out, how is that the Vance family's fault? That's their fault for breaking immigration law. So again, leave kids out of it. And speaking of gulags, because the left always likes to make Holocaust references and they try to claim that Trump is a Nazi and ICE agents are the Gestapo and Alligator Alcatraz is a concentration camp. Insane. So Congresswoman Maria Salazar from Florida, she went on Fox and Friends to detail her trip to Alligator Alcatraz. This is what she saw when she was there. Watch.
Well, I wanted to talk to them, and I thought that it was a mistake from the authorities not allowing us to talk to them. I was able to shout in Spanish. There were like around 40 of them in shackles, and I tried to talk to them and ask them, and one of them said, and I asked them, how are they treating you? And one of them said, pretty good. The other one said, not so bad. But I really wanted to engage. They did not let me, but I did go in one of those cages. And of course, no one likes to be inside a cage. But I want to tell you that the cages were clean. I sat in one of the beds. They were soft. They had 3 metal toilets with a little, like a little wall to cover people when they're doing their business. Mm-hmm. They had 2 telephones where they can call their attorneys or the loved ones. Then they took us to another recreational area, also caged in. No one likes to be in a cage, of course, with a little, with some grass where they could run or do some exercise. There was another area where there were Bibles in Spanish. I reached out and I saw that there were Spanish Bibles and other types of religious material. Yeah. Another area where they can be sitting with their attorneys. I mean, I can tell you on and on. So it meets the highest standards for any federal facility of this type.
The highest standards for any federal facility. They get privacy to do the bathroom, areas to call their attorneys, the beds are soft, and the detainees themselves told Maria Salazar that it was okay. They were being treated well. I also want to say that I am in the process of working to get a ride-along or a walkthrough of Alligator Alcatraz, so hopefully that works. Maybe not in time for the 100th episode, but maybe soon we'll do a trip down to Alligator Alcatraz and we'll do an episode from there, maybe a segment from there. Andy and Justin are ready to go. They're excited about that. We're going to take Nightly Scroll on the road. We're already Nightly Scroll worldwide with everyone watching from Japan and Greenland and wherever, Canada. So Alligator Alcatraz is next. This is a little teaser. But liberal men, not that you're watching this show, but if you were to watch this show, I would tell you to beware of hot girls wanting to date you. They might not be actually interested in you. They might be undercover journalists with James O'Keefe or the Daily Mail. So let's get into James O'Keefe first, the O'Keefe Media Group. Of course, they are known for their guerrilla-style journalistic tactics. They get people undercover, and let's start with Johnson & Johnson. An undercover reporter for James O'Keefe talked to an employee at Johnson & Johnson who said that the vaccine was not safe and effective. Watch this.
Do you have any idea the lack of research that was done on those products?
Joe Biden says that it's safe and effective, but he didn't know.
There's no proof. I mean, none of that stuff was safe and effective. People wanted it. Who gave it to them? It's like, all right, you know what? Cancer patient's going to die anyway. I'm sure somebody's going to get sued for that stuff eventually.
According to a Johnson & Johnson press release from December 2021, the safety and well-being of those who use the Johnson & Johnson vaccine continues to be our #1 priority. Now, for the first time ever, an official from Johnson & Johnson admits to our hidden cameras that the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine was, quote, not safe and effective, unquote. And the company wanted to, quote, just throw the vaccine creation to the wind and see what happens, unquote.
You know, they're like, oh, Joe Biden says that it's safe and effective, but he didn't know.
There's no proof. I mean, none of that stuff was safe and effective. We didn't do the typical test. The typical process, that's why it takes so long to get a product on market. The typical process is all this clinical trial testing and stuff in a small population. This was just, let's test it on some, lab models, analyze and see if it works and stuff like that, and just throw it to the wind and see what happens.
But people didn't know that. The patients
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure somebody's going to get sued for that stuff eventually.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not looking good for Johnson & Johnson. Again, no one regrets not getting the vaccine. I'll just say that. I haven't met someone who regretted not getting it yet. I didn't get it. It is not a regret of mine. I am very happy with my choice to not get it. And it's concerning that the guy from Johnson & Johnson, a scientist there, said, well, people wanted it, so we gave it to them. But the problem is Johnson & Johnson said it was safe and effective. Then the Biden administration said it was safe and effective. And then the Biden administration forced it on everyone and mandated it. So it's not just Johnson & Johnson's fault, by the way. the Biden administration is at fault for mandating a shot that everyone knew that this was Operation Warp Speed and they weren't going. It takes a decade to test a vaccine. We didn't have a decade. They made it in 5 seconds, and then they forced it in everyone's arms 3 times, 5 times, 6 times. Disgusting. But this is like, the right-wing conspiracy theorists, we already knew this, so we already knew it. It's not really that shocking, but to see people on camera admitting it, the people behind the vaccine, the people that were pushing the vaccine, telling the Biden administration that it was safe and effective, it is very telling. James O'Keefe also had a undercover reporter go and talk to a Secret Service agent. And the Secret Service agent, I tried to find the screenshots today and I couldn't find them, or else I would have had them on the show. But the Secret Service agent was talking about I'm at the White House right now, taking pictures of the White House, sending it to some girl that he met on a dating app. Totally insane. Totally insane. So again, just be careful about who you meet on dating apps. They might not be who they say they are. And then this next one is a Daily Mail reporter. She also went undercover. She said to all of these guys that she was matching on a dating app that she's conservative. Watch this.
I went undercover as a MAGA girl boss on Bumble and Hinge. This is what happened. I'm Alexis Semino, reporter at Daily Mail. I sent the message, "Hi, I'm MAGA," with guys I matched with to see their reactions, and I was pretty surprised to see that the men who claimed to be liberal weren't phased at all. Unlike my colleague Will, who got little to no responses, my inbox blew up. My matches fell into the following 5 categories. 1, guys who were unapologetically MAGA and way too hyped about it. 2, men who didn't care about my political affiliation. They just wanted to go out with me. 3, the ones who had no idea what it meant. Someone asked if it was a ban. 4, those who sent me a dissertation. I could not believe how many political essays I received in response to a 4-letter acronym. 5, the liars. Ladies, so many men are pretending to be liberal. One guy had his profile say, "Fox News is like Coco Melon for adults." Then I messaged him and he said, "Hi, I'm Matt. I matched with roughly 80 men and only one unmatched me."
Interesting. 80 men. She responded to 80 men saying, "Hi, I'm MAGA," which is the most bot thing that you can say. No one normal would say that. I'm as MAGA as they come. And if someone wrote to me on a dating app and said, "Hi, I'm MAGA," I would not talk to that person. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. What do you mean, "Hi, I'm MAGA"? Who says that? That's
But if he said it, would you match?
That's what I said. No, I would not. That's so weird. What does that even mean? "Hi, I'm MAGA"? I would never say that to someone. That's not normal. That's like when Jussie Smollett said, "This is MAGA country." And that's what that is what this sounds like. This is a bot response. And I took some notes here of things that I wanted to talk about this. She said, "I was cosplaying as a MAGA girl boss." So what is that? What's a MAGA girl boss? Is that me? I have a job and I'm MAGA, so am I a MAGA girl boss? I would never say that because girl boss is such a leftist term. But I guess any woman who's MAGA and has a job is technically a MAGA girl boss. But that's, again, another weird thing that only bots would say, in my opinion. And then she also claimed that people didn't know what MAGA meant. Who doesn't know what MAGA means at this point? President Trump was in office for 4 years, and now he's in office again. What do you mean you don't know what MAGA means? That's insane. It's totally insane. All right, this next story is also kind of crazy, very crazy, and it's very ironic as well. So there is a coffee shop in Denver, Colorado called the Drip Cafe, and the owner is Christian. God forbid, when you open a Christian coffee shop in Denver, things do not go so well because the community protests the fact that you are Christian and you own a coffee shop. So not only is this owner Christian, but they have a ministry run out of this coffee shop called Recycle God's Love. And not only that, they have Bible studies. They offer meals to homeless people in the community. They involve other small businesses in the area. And they also have a program called Project Revive, where they hire the homeless people who have gone through their program to work at the coffee shop and rebuild their lives. And when I lived in Nashville, I went to a coffee shop like this. There was a coffee shop attached to a Baptist church right on Broadway, the main strip there, and they make great coffee, and they hire underprivileged children in the community, and they hire homeless people who need jobs, and the coffee's great, and it's a great way to get these people off the streets. So they're doing something similar here in Denver, Colorado, but he started getting very mean hate messages about his business being anti-LGBTQ. All these protesters started doxing him, basically, and he found out that this was all organized. These protests were organized by the Denver communists. They would hold signs outside of the coffee shop. They would pass out flyers outside of the coffee shop, accusing them of being a right-wing church that opposes gay people, which, yeah, but whatever. That's besides the point. But he said this: the whole purpose of opening the cafe was to serve the homeless community and help get people off the street and to change their lives. And here we got a group who hates us just because we're doing that and we are Christian. Don't you think that communists would like to get people off the street, or do they just want poor people to be able to get money from the government and not be able to work? I don't understand that. Like, what issue would they have with this Christian group helping homeless people?
Absolutely nothing. And also, the other question is, what do they do all day? Like,
the communists?
Do they work? I guess not.
I guess
the communists. I mean, what do they do? How do they have free time to just go and harass this guy in Denver? I think the interview that I read on this guy is they do it like first Friday. So there's like a scheduled day where 30 or 40 of them just show up and they start raiding on the guy's place. It's pretty sad.
It's very sad. He's trying to do business. He's trying to make money. And it's such a great idea. And it's a great way to get the community involved in the church, first and foremost. And then also to help the community and help the people in the community who need it most. You don't want people living on the street. So they go through this Bible program and this Bible study. Then they get a job at the church. Like, this is wonderful. But of course, communists and liberals, they ruin everything. Also in Colorado, things are not going very well in Colorado. But this is a pedophile that prosecutors in Colorado plan to let go. They're planning on dropping the charges. This is a registered sex offender. He was accused last April of trying to kidnap an 11-year-old boy from an elementary school. But they're letting him go because he was found to be incompetent to stand trial. He was arrested, of course, went through a mental competency evaluation. They said that he was unfit to stand trial. So prosecutors say they have no choice but to drop the charges. Do you have a photo of this fine young man? Let's put this up. Jump scare. This might be one of the scariest people I've ever seen. Whew. Parents of the school district are rightfully concerned because this man that you're looking at right now, covered in, I don't even know what, some kind of a dirt or something. I don't know. Bloodshot eyes, very scary. The parents of the school district are concerned because this man made it onto the school grounds and grabbed a young boy and was heading off with the young boy before he was stopped and arrested. So the parents are concerned about how the school district handled all of this. How are the grounds not protected where someone, a pedophile, registered sex offender, could come onto the school property and attempt to steal a child and kidnap a child? Totally insane. These people need to be locked away. Locked away. Someone said, fine Maryland father. He's just a Colorado man. He's a Colorado father. He's just a regular old dude. Yeah. Someone in the chat said, was his name Joe Biden? It was not, but he probably likes to sniff kids as well. All right. This scrolling time segment is all fun. It is no politics. It is just cute babies It is cute animals. So if those things trigger you, sometimes I do cute baby videos and people in the chat say, no more cute babies. I don't like cute babies. So this is your trigger warning. The rest of this show is going to be fun, no politics. So if you're not into that, then my birthday wish is to get all 50 states and to have fun and scrolling time. So let's get into it. Someone in the chat said it's their birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. And I know some people I saw on Twitter, and someone in the chat said that their birthday was today too. So happy birthday to all of my birthday twins out there. Great day. Great day to be born. All right. So this first one, this woman's boyfriend finds what he thinks is a dog. It is not a dog. Let's play it.
What'd you find?
Found a dog.
Are you sure it's not a coyote?
That's not a coyote.
That's a coyote.
That's not a coyote.
That's a dog. That's a coyote.
It's not a coyote.
That's a dog.
Come here, dog.
You're a human.
Whoa. Can I pet you, little stray dog? Whoa, whoa. You're a vicious one. Come here.
That's
Come
because
here.
it's a coyote.
Can I boop you? Oh, it's got a wrinkled nose. It must be an old puppy. Are you an old puppy? Hi. Hey, puppy. Whoa. Hey, puppy. Whoa. 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 Hi, puppy. Whoa. Come here, puppy. Honey, can we keep it?
Sure.
What are we gonna name it?
What do you want to name it?
That is a coyote. You know what this video reminded me of? Do you know that viral video of the girl saying, "Can I pet that dog?" and it's a bear? Can we find that? Or should I find it on my iPad maybe? Is that faster? Or can you guys pull it up? Can I pet that dog? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I hope you do. Can I pet that dog? Sometimes I will say things like that, quote, like I'm not very good at movie quotes, but viral internet videos, I will speak in viral internet videos and viral internet sounds, and no one knows what I'm talking about. You got it? Can I pet that dog? Watch this. I can't hear it. All right, hold on. We're going to get the sound for you. But this is the viral video that this reminded me of. A little girl with a bear. Can I pet that dog? Someone in the chat says, I'm great at movie quotes. I watch movies once or twice, but I don't rewatch them and I never remember them. The only movie that I really remember quotes from is Mean Girls, because that's a very quotable movie. Those quotes go very viral. But other than that, I don't really remember quotes. And Legally Blonde, I feel like there are some good movie quotes from that. Also, We're the Millers. Great movie with great movie quotes. Underrated movie, in my opinion. What do we think? Should we move on from Can I Pet That Dog? All right, we're not able to get the audio, but just trust me, bro. It's a good one. Okay, so I have another coyote video. This one on the golf course. Watch this. So here's a coyote grabs someone's golf ball on the putting green and is playing with it like a dog, I would say. Coyotes and dogs, definitely similarities, although they are not the same. But the text there said, so much for my birdie putt. And yes, the coyote moved the ball further from the hole, but still very cute. This next one, though, these people, they put a snake in the hole to, I don't know, as a gift for the people coming behind them. Watch this. Leaving a surprise for the group behind you, and this guy is putting his his snake in the hole, and it just goes underneath there. That's very scary. Very, very scary. And I wanted to play the captions on that one because it is very funny, the comments, but I forgot to send it to myself. So give me one moment. Yeah, I just started that. Let me find this video here. Please hold. Here we go. Sending it to myself. This made me laugh. All right, let's pull it up here. May you guys have 50-yard drives for the rest of your lives. I agree with that. I think this is an asshole move. You're not supposed to put snakes to scare the people coming up behind you. This is exactly why I never make my putts. That's a good excuse. You never want to make those putts because you never know if there's a snake in there. New fear unlocked. This feels illegal. What the hell? Shrink the game. This is not a way to grow the game. This is a way to shrink the game for sure. Banned from course. Someone said, all jokes aside, this is funny. I don't think that this is funny. I'm taking 6-foot gimmies from now on. The hate that was just developed for y'all. Thanks, I'm throwing my clubs away now. New fear unlocked again. Now this is my biggest fear. Why? New fear unlocked. This is hilarious. No, I'm going to be paranoid now. That's a big nope. I was reading the comments earlier and someone said you should get deported for this, and now I can't even find that comment. Some people just like to watch the world burn. New fear unlocked. This is very rude. Someone in the chat said golf sucks. I think you're just saying that because you suck at golf. I don't think golf sucks. I think you're bad at it. And when you're bad at golf, then golf sucks. Anyway, moving on from the golf videos now, a cat mayoral race is going on. I believe this is in Boston or around Boston. So let's play this.
It's dirty politics. It's dirty politics.
A catty mayoral race is brewing in Somerville. Literally.
It's a very hot race, a lot of contenders.
These feisty felines are campaigning for the imaginary office of Bike Path Mayor, but it seems one candidate has a very real enemy.
So again, the original race, and we have photo evidence all over the Somerville Discord, was Orange Cat versus Barry, who's the incumbent. I see Barry all the time. I see
Make
Orange
cats
Cat
outside
almost
again
as much.
is the slogan.
And then other candidates started coming in, and then Barry's sign was stolen.
But now Barry is back with her promise to make cats outside again.
Now, there are more signs.
There's an incumbent.
They're all.
There's an incumbent cat.
Yeah, I guess they already have a cat mayor. And now there are other cat mayors lining up, or mayoral candidates lining up to try to oust the cat. But this next video is some of the other signs there. But I will say that the incumbent, their slogan is make cats outside again, which I do like. Birdie would love that. Birdie would vote for that candidate. Do you have the other one, number 18? Let's play that because these are very funny. Murphy, a candidate for the people, FUR. Politics as usual, not meow. Naps, tuna, pets. Cast your vote, right, meow. These are very creative. People are really taking the time to sell their pets as candidates. Rosie for City Watch. What would Birdie's campaign slogan be if Birdie ran for mayor? Treats all day, every day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snacks. She's very food motivated, my cat.
What do you do if you're a dog in this town?
I don't know. You got to vote for a cat, I guess. There are no dogs. The claws are out, someone said. I like it. I just think that this is cute. I love when towns do stuff like this. I think it brings people together. Politics doesn't have to be this dog-eat-dog world. It can be a cat-eat-cat world, you know? And here's another cat video, a cat playing ping pong. I think this is cute. Watch. I did slow down the video. I watched the video in like 0.5 speed, and the cat actually didn't hit any of them. The ping pong ball was hitting the wall behind it, but it does look like the cat is playing ping pong. So not to burst everyone's bubble on that, but here's another very cute video of a cat with a baby. Watch this.
Cat's noise. Is the cat making a noise? It's called purring. It means he's happy. Happy. Yeah. Is Bubby happy? The cat's happy? The cat's happy, yeah.
How cute is that? I love babies and I love cats, and that's just two of my favorite things in one video. But it was so cute to see the little boy get even happier when he knew that the cat was happy. And that's very cute. This next video, I don't have any, well, I was just going to say I don't have any dog videos, but I had 2 coyote videos, and someone thought that it was a dog, so I'm a woman of the people. I have cat videos and almost dog videos in the show today. I've got 2 more.
People's champ.
Yes. I've got 2 more videos. This next one is a cat. Falling, but it's the cat's own fault. Watch this.
Nothing beats it.
The cat is biting. Wait. Play it again. The cat is biting the little like string that that holds its bed up, and then falls. So it's totally his own fault. Because cats love strings. They like biting strings, but that string is keeping him suspended. He just didn't know that, though. So not very smart, but cats always land on their feet, so that's good. All right, this next one, and this is the last one that I have tonight, is a snake gender reveal. This is, I'm out on gender reveals. I think that we need to stop. It's madness, but watch this one. Very creative, I will say. So it's a girl. It's a girl, but if you're listening and not watching, the man was baiting a snake with a sword or a knife of some sort, and then the snake went to bite him, but he had a balloon in his mouth, and the snake popped the balloon. Pink confetti popped out. This is a very dangerous way to find out that your child is a girl or a boy. We don't need to be doing all that.
Open-minded, but why?
We don't need to be doing all that.
Why? Yeah, give me even at the chat. Give me one reason.
I don't even think that we need to be doing gender reveals anymore. First of all, it's not a gender reveal. It's a biological sex reveal, but that's not as sexy to say. So people just say gender reveal, but you're not really revealing the gender, you're revealing the sex. But, you can't throw sex parties for children. Only the left does that. But yeah, so I think it's stupid. And then, you see all these things with people with fire shows and fireworks. And remember that couple that had the gender reveal in California and it started a wildfire? Do you remember that? That was horrible. Let's pull up some information on that. When was that? 2016, I want to say. That should have been the end of gender reveals. But for some reason, people are still doing it. And also, no one cares. Quite frankly, if your child is a boy or a girl, you're going to find out anyway. You can find out just you and your husband or wife. You could tell your family like normal people. You don't need to get all pyromaniac about it. You don't need to, California couple whose gender reveal party sparked a wildfire, charged with 30 crimes? Oh my gosh. Yeah, California has been criminally charged for their role in igniting last year's destructive. What year was this? Can you scroll up? It's 3 years old, so this was 3 years ago. Wow, the El Dorado fire. It destroyed 5 homes and killed 1 firefighter, all to find out the sex of your child, which you're going to find out anyway when the baby comes out. Totally insane. I'm anti-gender reveal. I think they just need to be done. I'm not a cancel culture warrior, but these need to be canceled. Thank you, everyone. This is all I had planned for today's show. I will say this made my birthday very special. All 50 states in the chat, plus Canada, plus Greenland, plus Japan. I got Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Brazil. I mean, this was incredible. Totally incredible. We got all 50 states. That was the goal. We hit the goal. So thank you very much. I feel very special. And I will see you right back here tomorrow.